This is Jay Mancini. Welcome to the channel where we keep the wheels rolling and the cash flowing. So guys, this is a 3-part series and this is the first part. And guys, so if you haven't already seen on IG, we posted a video where I was talking about ending the year strong to make sure you start the year stronger. So today I'm going to be talking about those 3 things. And just remember, this is just part 1 of 3. So let's dive in. All right, guys, so the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk about finishing the year strong to start the year stronger, guys. And in my business, this is something that I make sure I do every quarter at the end of the quarter, because what it does, guys, is it gets me ready to start the next quarter stronger. So if you don't already know, there's 4 quarters to the year, quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can kind of think about it like a football game, right? I like to kind of break it down like that, right? I like football, I like watching the sport. So it's the same thing, right? We want to always make sure that we finish that quarter strong so we can start the next quarter stronger. But the most important one is the 4th quarter, right? Just like I mentioned on that IG video. Now, finishing the year strong to start the year stronger. Why? Because the 4th quarter, if you finish strong, then what that does is it catapults you to start the new year stronger. And one thing I've noticed about a lot of people, whether it's business or individually, right? They set all these goals at the beginning of the year, but they don't start to really commit to those goals till maybe the end of January or the beginning of February. Well, guess what, guys? You want to be ahead of the game, okay? How do you get ahead of the game? Right here, guys. Finishing the year strong so you start the year stronger. When everybody's thinking about all these changes they want to do and all these things they want to accomplish at the beginning of the year, you've already got a head start on them. So the number one thing, guys, that I have to tell you today is setting clear goals and achievable goals, right? So number 1, set clear goals and achievable goals. All right. So if you don't have a pen or a pad, you may want to write that down. Set clear goals and achievable goals. What do I mean by clear goals and achievable goals? Let's dive in. All right, guys, so the first thing that I would do to set clear and achievable goals is I'm going to break it down into 3 categories, right? What are those 3 categories, guys? The following: business or professional, if you don't have a business, personal, and financial. So what do I mean? If you own a business, you have your business goals. If you're a professional, you have a profession, but you don't own a business. You know, it could be whatever it is that you do for a profession. You have your personal goals. It could be family, etc., right? And your financial goals, which we all should have. But today, guys, we're talking about the dump truck business, right? Today, we're going to be talking about this, the dump truck business and your business, right? And what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to use our business as an example because we are talking about the dump truck business. So keep in mind, if you're the guy that's just started in the dump truck business or is about to start a dump truck business, this is going to apply to you regardless, right? Because if you haven't started, when you start, you're definitely going to use this, right? So one of the goals that we set for us in our dump truck business, especially in the 4th quarter, is acquiring 3 new clients, okay? So in the last 90 days, we set a goal, and this is actually a goal that we have right now, is we want to accomplish in acquiring 3 new clients, right? Now, why do we want to accomplish on setting 3 new clients? Well, for the following reasons. Number 1, what it does is it's going to assure us that we have a higher potential of growing our business. And what does that mean, guys? That means the following. That means that more than likely, we're going to have more work. Meaning, if we're here at the end of the year, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that when we start the year, we have plenty of work. Now, if you don't already know about the dump truck business, you know, it could be seasonal, right? So especially if you're in an area where it's up north, you know, and it's weather permitting, you definitely want to make sure that if there's only a few phone calls being made, you're one of those guys that they call. So how do you do that? Again, you're going to set new relationships. How? By trying to acquire 3 new clients. And this is, again, something that we do. What we do is we go out and say, okay, we want to get 3 new customers that we've never done business with, start a relationship with them, hopefully get work from these guys, right? From these contractors. And then once we get work, we know that this is going to increase our chances of starting the year strong. But most importantly, down the road, it's going to help our business grow as well. So for you guys that are just starting in the dump truck business, just to give you an example, this could be something that you may want to set as a goal. Number 1, it could be getting your CDL, right? That could be step 1. Number 2, it could be going to work as a driver once you get your CDL, right? And you know, I've done videos on this, making sure that you get some experience. And that's what I mean by going and work as a driver, because once you work as a driver, you get that experience, you get that knowledge, and you know what the dump truck business is about. So that will lead you to number 3, which is ultimately buying your own dump truck. So that could be, you know, let's say your goal or your goals for the next year. If you're the guy that's watching this video and you're like, hey Jay, you know what? I love everything that I see in the videos and I've heard all these good things about the dump truck business. I think that is something that I would like to do. Or maybe you're an over-the-road driver, or you just happen to get your CDL. Well, these are goals that you may have. If you've gotten your CDL, what's the next goal? Well, let me go work for somebody. Let me go drive a dump truck for somebody else so that I can learn the business, so that I can be experienced, so that then the next goal would be buy my own dump truck, so then I can drive not only for myself, but ultimately, right, be my own business and generate my own income and eventually get my own customers. So see, that would be goal number 4. So right there, I just gave you an example of 3 or 4 goals that you can set for yourself. Now, one thing I would highly recommend, guys, when you set goals, right, and these goals that we're talking about, make sure that you set a timeline for this. So everything that I just mentioned, I would say you could potentially do in a year or less. You may be able to even do that in 6 months, 9 months. I would say that you can definitely do that in a year. Now, how do you hold yourself accountable? Well, I suggest you do the following. 1, set daily, 2, weekly, and 3, monthly milestones for yourself. So what do I mean by that? Your daily goal could be just doing research online about the dump truck business. Go online, do some research. Where are the local gravel yards, the local asphalt suppliers, gravel suppliers, where are the quarries and the pits, just for you to get familiarized where all these places are located so that you can start to get a visual of what you're going to potentially be doing. Another thing is watching videos like this, right? You can watch these videos on daily or even on a weekly basis so you can start to get more knowledge about the dump truck business. Another goal that I would set when you break it down to the weekly is making those relationships and those contacts that I've talked about in other videos, right? Reaching out to owner operators, reaching out to people that already own dump trucks and having these guys help you out through the process, asking them questions about the dump truck business that ultimately can lead you and put you in the position where you will have some knowledge when you do get behind the wheel and start driving a dump truck. And a monthly milestone, guys, could be collectively gathering all this information, right, and actually applying it. Meaning, once you've built those relationships or you start to build those relationships, actually calling the guys and being like, hey, Joe, you know what, man, I know we've been talking for the last few weeks. Do you mind if maybe next week I can actually go with you in your dump truck? If this is something that, you'd be open to, maybe I can ride along with you and I can get a firsthand experience of the dump truck business. So these are just examples for you guys so that you guys can actually apply these examples and actually utilize them for your benefit. All right, guys, so that leads me to the next thing, number 2, time management. And Jay, what do you mean by time management? Well, time management, honestly, guys, is everything, because I know guys that are out there that are, guys that are willing to do and put in the work, but one thing, they don't manage their time. They're all over the place. So the one thing that you need to know is that you got to set a time to be able to do these things that we're talking about, right? These goals that we're setting and these achievable goals, well, they only become achievable if you set the time to be able to do them. So I'll break that down for you. What do I mean by time? I mean the following, guys. Create specific time blocks in your calendar. So you can pull out your phone and say, okay, on Saturday, I'm going to call that owner operator that I've been in touch with and asking him, hey, do you mind if I go and ride along with you in your dump truck so that I can get a firsthand experience? This is just one of many examples, right? So all these things that I'm telling you about, right? Doing the research online. Well, you have to find the time for that. So how do you find the time? Again, just blocking it. Block the time, set up your daily calendar, your weekly calendar, and your monthly calendar, and set the times that you're going to block to take these actual actions, right? So that's how you hold yourself accountable, right? And managing the time to do these things. The biggest thing, guys, is to avoid distractions, right? So going back to what I was saying, if you don't set these specific times and block them, then you're always going to have distractions and you're never going to get to it, guys. And you know what that means. You're never going to actually make those goals, clear goals and achievable goals. So with that being said, guys, number 3. Seek professional help, guys. All right, Jay, so what do you mean by seek professional help? What I mean, guys, is search and look for somebody, guys, that's already in the business, okay? Now, you may be saying, Jay, I don't know anybody in the business. All I know is the videos that I watch that you're doing right now. And that's great. I'm glad that you're watching the videos, but I strongly encourage you to find people in your area. And you got to keep in mind, guys, right? I'm in the greater Houston area, but you could be in a whole other state. You can be, maybe even in another country, right? And, You may be speaking a whole different language, but you're still watching these videos. I know that we have followers throughout the entire world, and I appreciate you guys for watching the videos. I really do. But, you know, everything changes from city to city, from state to state. Things will vary. I mean, ultimately, the dump truck business is a dump truck business, but things can change and will change, right? And so I know that I have family members that live in Arizona. I used to have family members that lived in California, and the dump truck business is a little different there than it is here. So because it is slightly different, right? You have to reach for somebody in your area that knows your area, right? And this starts with, again, what I said a minute ago, maybe even reaching out to an owner operator, right? Somebody who already has a dump truck. And I told you guys already how to do that. Going to the quarries, going to the pits where dump truck owner operators are coming in and out of, you know, starting those relationships, starting a conversation with these guys, right? Just getting out there, really. That's really what it boils down to, guys. So you need to get out there and you need to talk to these people, get their phone number. You will run into somebody that I'm sure is going to be willing to give you a hand. Now, if you don't do that, you know, you may want to call around or ask around. You'd probably be surprised at how you know somebody that knows somebody that's in the dump truck business, right? Especially if, you know, you already know somebody that's in the trucking business. Ultimately, we're all kind of a chain. You'd be surprised how these guys from the over-the-road guys, they know somebody that's in the dump truck business, right? And vice versa. So that would be the first step that I would do. The next thing that I would do, guys, as I mentioned, is going to work for somebody, right? If you already have your CDL and you're saying, Jay, you know what? I got my CDL. I want to go and work for somebody. Learn from that individual. Whoever it is that you're going to go work for, learn from that individual. Now, you may say, Jay, well, I'm getting hired on by this company. You know, they're just giving me instructions and I'm just a driver. Well, you got to think about it, okay? Is that actually something that you want to do? Well, good. You want to get the experience, but in my opinion, and I would suggest, is go to work for somebody that maybe even have a smaller fleet. The guy may only have, or the company may only have, you know, 5 trucks, 8 trucks, or 10 trucks. And you'd be surprised, those are the guys that will actually help you. You know, those are the guys that may be open to actually giving you some game and teaching you the ropes. And those are the people that I would suggest you go work for. And the reason why is because the experience you're going to get, the knowledge that you're going to learn from these individuals, ultimately is going to set you up so that you can have your own truck and you can become successful down the road when you do own your own dump truck. Now, guys, if you can't do that right off the bat, you may be, you know, at a job, or you may be working in a profession where you're, 9 to 5 and you're Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. The other way, guys, that you can seek professional help is find somebody that you may be following somebody already on social media, somebody that you think is a credible source, right? And you can call them, or you may be able to set up some kind of appointment or consultation with them, right? And reach out to them. That's another way that you can do it. I know sometimes a lot of the people that are out there, they may be watching this video and say, well, Jay, I have a career doing something, or I have a profession doing something else, or a job, and right now I just want to reach out to somebody and just speak to somebody about all these questions I have. Well, that's great too. If you want to go ahead and reach out to somebody that's a credible source, that's another way that you can also seek professional help. Just to kind of give you guys an idea, for myself, you know, when I was doing a little bit of real estate many years ago, there was somebody that I had to reach out to, and I went to a local club here in Houston, a local real estate club, and I met a lot of people there. And then, you know, eventually I ran into a gentleman. We kind of, you know, created a friendship, and then, you know, I seek consultation from him. I learned what I needed to learn, and then I went on about my business, and that was, you know, again, a few years ago. So it's the same thing here, right? Just seek for somebody that may be able to help you and answer all your questions, if that's the way you want to go about seeking professional help. And guys, the reason why I strongly encourage that you seek professional help, because it's going to do several things for you. Number 1, guys, is going to help you avoid pitfalls. Number 2 is going to compress your time. And number 3, guys, you're going to see progress a lot faster than you would otherwise. So those are the 3 main things and reasons why I would highly suggest you seek professional help. Now, going back to what I said earlier, another thing that it did for me when I first started in the dump truck business, what it did for me, guys, not having somebody to seek for professional help, it caused me a lot of mistakes, right? One of the things that I did is, first of all, I bought the wrong type of dump truck. I bought an over-the-road truck, had to spend a whole bunch of money to make it really essentially into a good dump truck. Number 2, I didn't have any work. So if you don't know my story, right, I had to actually go and look for work while I had a dump truck because I didn't have any work. So I had a dump truck. I didn't even own the dump truck. I was trying to pay the dump truck to the guy who basically owned or financed it, and I didn't have any work. So you definitely want to avoid that, right? The other thing, guys, I didn't know a bunch about mechanical issues with dump trucks, right? And I didn't even have a mechanic at the time. So that's another thing you want to avoid. When I actually bought the dump truck, it already had mechanical issues. So not only did I have to pay off the dump truck, but a few months down the road, about 9 or 10 months down the road, I had to end up actually rebuilding the whole engine. So you want to avoid all those pitfalls, right? That's where I'm going with this. You definitely want to avoid all those things because most of the time, most people are going to give up. They're going to say, this business is not for me, and they can end up losing money. So those are the reasons why, guys, you definitely want to seek professional help. You want to manage your time. You want to set your clear goals. And of course, at the beginning, make sure they're achievable goals. So guys, you've probably already heard me before talk about the community that we're building. So it's not ready yet. We are working on building that community. And this is one of the many things that we're going to be talking about in that community. So there's so much more to come. We're going to be going into depth into all these things in that community so that you can start off that dump truck business from 0 to 100 right off the back, right? And you can start making money and you can be successful. Now, with that being said, be looking out for the second video of this series. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you can get a notification on the next video. Guys, you already know what we do here. We keep the wheels rolling and the cash flowing, and we'll see you on the next one.